We're going to do the air brake practical test for the class DZ. First step is secure the vehicle. You will make sure you have the wheel blocks, one at the rear and one on the front. Always use the rear tires, not on the front axle. Then you go back into the truck. And make sure your parking brake is on. The second step in the air brake system is when you're doing this test, you're allowed to have checklist in front of you. The second step is test the low air pressure warning device. You will start the engine. Looking at the air pressure gauges, in every air brake truck you have 3 air tanks. We can see like 2 gauges over here, which shows green for the primary and the red for the secondary. And we will mention the examiner our air pressure is over 90 psi. Now we will reduce the air pressure by pumping the brake pedal and to see when the warning device activates. Our air pressure is decreasing. We are waiting for the low air pressure warning indication. Our warning came on around 75 psi, which is good. If it comes on below 55, the vehicle is defective. The third step is testing the air pressure build-up time, which you're going to tell the examiner my RPM is between 600 to 900 RPM, and we're going to time it from 85 psi to reach 100 psi, how long it takes. So reduce your air pressure back to again to 80 and start timing from 85. It's almost 85. We time it and we see how long it takes to reach 100. And mention the examiner the RPM is between 600 to 900 RPM. It's 100 and we took 39 seconds. We tell the examiner it took 39 seconds. If it took more than 2 minutes, it's effective. Now we are doing the step number 4, confirming the air compressor governor settings. So we are keep building our air pressure to maximum. Our maximum air pressure in the air tanks has to be between 100 to 135 psi. Between 100 and 135 psi. And we will hear the cut out sound, like a loud purge sound which comes from the air dryer. We are waiting while our air pressure is building up. We heard the loud sound which came around 122 psi. We tell the examiner which is good, because if it's over 135 or less than 100, the vehicle is defective. Now we're going to show the examiner if we lose the air pressure less than 100, if we go and we reduce 20 to 25 psi below our cutout, our air pressure should start rising up back again. So we reduce the air pressure by pumping the brake pedal just less than 100, and we wait. Our air pressure start rising up, so we tell the examiner, okay, our cutting is working. If it's below 80, defective. So your cutout was between 100 and 135, and cut in supposed to be between 80 and 100. So if it's below 80, your cut in is the vehicle is defective. Now we are doing step number 5, which is our test our air loss rate. Make sure you release your parking brake, supply the air to your spring brake chamber to release your parking brakes, so you're supplying the air. Make sure your air pressure is over 100, like it should be normal operating range. Turn off your vehicle, then you hold the brake pedal and you time it for a minute. Tell the examiner my air pressure is close to 115. In 1 minute, I should not lose more than 3 psi. So you will hold the brake pedal for 1 minute. Single vehicle, single truck, you should not lose more than 3 psi in 1 minute. If you lose more than 3 psi, the vehicle is defective. One minute is done. We lost around like 1 or 2 psi, which is normal. If we lose more than 3 psi, the vehicle is defective. We're doing the step number 6, which is test the parking brake, spring brakes. So first, you make sure you apply your parking brakes by pulling the knob. Then we will go down. We remove our rear wheel block. Put it on the side, then you go back in the truck, start the engine, put in the reverse gear, try to move with gentle power. It's not moving, it's good. If it moves, defective. Make sure you put it back into neutral. Now we are doing the step number 7, which is drain the air tanks. Before that, we will make sure our air pressure is over 100, and we put the wheel blocks back again. And we turn off the engine. We will look at the air pressure, which is around like 113, 112 psi. We have 3 air tanks. We drain the supply tank first, which we have on the left side. We will look at our drain valve, and we pull the cord. For 10 to 15 seconds, we make sure there's no sludge, and we look at the gauges. Both gauges didn't move, so that's our supply tank. Now we're gonna drain the next air tank. Our drain valve is on this side. We make sure we don't see any sludge. No sludge. And we look at in the cab which needle went down. Our rear needle went down, so that shows this is our secondary air tank. Now we're gonna drain our last air tank. Our drain valve is right here. No water, no sludge. Look at the needle. Our green went down. So we say, okay, this is our primary air tank. And then we make sure we mention the examiner if our drain valves are not working, vehicle defective. Now we will do our step number 8, which is inspecting the brake adjustment. Examiner will tell you check on the left side or the right side of the brake chamber. So you start the engine. Make sure your air pressure is over 100. Release your parking brake. If an examiner asks you to check the left side, turn the wheel to the left. We turn off the engine, go out, we open the hood. Then we mention the examiner, what size of brake chamber is. By looking at the diameter, it's 172 millimeter. And at the rear of the chamber, back of the chamber, is a circular port. There's no L stamp, and it's a circular port. There's no L stamp, and there's no stroke indication information. Like there's no stroke tag. And then you mark on the push rod with a chalk. And then we apply the brakes, and we will see how much our push rod travel. Make sure your air pressure has to be between 90 and 100. Very important. And make sure your parking brake is released. Then we go out. And we measure our stroke. So the white mark, you can see our push rod limit over here is 1.5 inches. If it's more than 1.75 inches, is defective. And you have a reference checklist with you, which you can use in the test, and you can tell the examiner by looking at your reference chart. My brake chamber size was 20 standard because this one has circular port, no stamp, and no stroke tag, and our push rod adjustment limit was 1.75 inches. If it's exceeding the limit, defective. Response to defective vehicle condition, you're going to tell the examiner, if there was any defect, I will report to the owner, and the vehicle is prohibited from any operation
Thank you.